Good morning everyone. Welcome to our English literature class today. We are going to start a new story or new chapter today, that is The Ambassador's Disguise, and the chapter is number 8 and page number is 44. So let us start. But before that we have to know who is an ambassador. Ambassador is a representative of a country to some other country, and he will be sent to that other country maybe because of some reason, that is because of some special purpose, or even sometimes to carry or to convey a message. Okay, and the meaning of disguise is to take or to put on a new look. Okay, not your original one. So let us start the story. Many years ago, in the palace of Vladimir, a great Russian prince of Kiev, all the nobles were boasting about themselves. So this story is a story of long years before, and it was the palace of Vladimir. And who was Vladimir? Vladimir was a great Russian prince of Kiev. Kiev is the capital of Ukraine, and Vladimir was the prince of that Kiev, and Ukraine was in Russia. All the nobles were boasting about themselves. So the noble people of his court, they were boasting about themselves. That is, they were praising or speaking highly about themselves. One noble boasted of his strength, another showed of his wisdom, others boasted of their wealth or their trusted horses. So one of them was talking about his strength, how powerful or strong he was, and another one was showing off, that is boastfully displaying his power of knowledge, wisdom. Some of them were boasting of their wealth, that is how rich they were, and even some of them were boasting of their trained horses. Okay. One noble, Stavr Godinovich, said nothing at all. So there was a noble whose name was Stavr Godinovich. He was not saying anything. He was totally silent. He sat with a dreamy look on his face. So there was a dreamy, imaginative look, dreamlike look on his face, and he was sitting silent. Prince Vladimir noticed this and asked, "Why are you silent, Stavr?" So Prince noticed this. That's one of his nobles. He was sitting silently. And he asked, "Why are you silent?" So he asked Stavr why he was silent. "Have you nothing to say?" So you don't have anything to say. You don't have anything to boast of. "Great Prince," replied Stavr, "I have nothing to boast of except my wife Katrina." So the only thing I can boast of, he replied, is my wife. And the name of his wife was Katrina. She is young and beautiful, braver and more skillful than any warrior present here. So she is braver and more skillful. Skillful means having skills. Than any of the warrior means soldiers, present in your court. She can shoot with a bow, sing like a nightingale, and enchant everyone with her harp. So she has so many qualities. She can shoot with a bow, she can sing beautifully just like a nightingale, and she can enchant. Enchant means charm, mesmerize everyone with her harp. Harp is a musical instrument. And no one here can ever beat her at chess. And she is so good at playing chess that no one in your court can beat her, can defeat her. Okay, beat means defeat. "Is that so?" interrupted the prince. So the prince stopped him in between. Interrupted means to stop a person while he was speaking. And asked, "Is it so?" "Yes, indeed, great prince," replied Stavr. "She could easily defeat all your nobles." So Stavr was very much confident about his wife, and he said that yes, indeed, exactly so. And she could easily beat all your nobles. And pardon me for saying so, and please excuse me, great prince, but you too are no match for her either. So even my wife can beat you, can defeat you. Okay? The prince became very angry when he heard this. Obviously, he is a prince. He glared at Stavr and said, glared means to look angrily, to give a angry look, and said, "You have gone too far this time. You have crossed your limit this time. How dare you say that I am no match for your wife?" So where from you gathered the courage to say that even I am not a match for your wife? The prince pointed a finger at Stour and turning to one of his guards said, "Take this man away." So the prince became very angry and he pointed a finger towards Stour and he told one of his guards, "Take this man away, throw him into the dungeon." He asked the guards to take the man away from his court and to put him inside the prison, inside the jail. Dungeon means a strong underground prison. Give him oats and water, nothing more. So he will be given only oats and water, nothing else. Now go. The guard did as he was instructed. He threw Stour into a cold, dark dungeon. The only light came from a small window with thick iron bars high up near the ceiling. So he was put inside a cold, dark dungeon. And the only light that was coming inside that prison was from a small window. And the window had thick iron bars high up near the ceiling. Let us move to the next page, page number 45. All Stour could see was the sky. So the only thing that Stour could see from that prison was the sky. He sat on the cold stone floor feeling very sad. So he was very sad and he was sitting on the cold stone floor. As night fell, Stour looked out of the window at the stars in the sky. So when the night came, Stour was doing nothing else but sitting in that cold stone floor and he was looking out of the window towards the star in the sky. Alas, he thought to himself, I have served the prince for 9 years and this is how he repaid me. So he was recollecting what he did for the prince, Prince Vladimir. And he said to himself that I have served this prince for long 9 years and this way only he paid me back. I'm sorry I hurt the prince. Maybe I have hurt the prince. But I only spoke the truth about my wife. I hope someone tells Katrina where I am. I just hope someone convey the message to my wife that I have been put inside the prison. Katrina heard what had happened to her husband. So the wife already knew what happened to her husband. She tried to visit him the following days. The next day, she tried to visit him. But the guards did not let her in. So the guards did not allow her. So she thought of a plan to rescue him. Rescue means to free from danger or from any bondage. Okay. So Katrina, the wife of this Stour Godinovich, she thought of a plan how to rescue her husband. Katrina called together her band of 30 archers, 30 chess masters and 30 musicians. So she called a group of 30 archers. Archers means bowmen. And 30 chess masters, those who can play chess very well, and 30 musicians also. She told them she needed their help to rescue her husband and they agreed to help her. The next day, Katrina got ready. She wore a suit of armor. What is the meaning of armor? Armor is a metal covering to protect the body. Okay? So next day, Katrina started to get ready. First of all, she put on a suit of armor with a helmet to cover her face. She carried a bow and some arrows, a club of steel. What is the meaning of club? Club is a heavy stick with a thick end used as a weapon. And a long lance. Lance means a long wooden weapon with a pointed steel head used by horsemen. Perched on her left forearm was a hooded falcon. So, who was seated on her left forearm? A falcon. Falcon is a bird of prey, a big bird with pointed beaks and pointed wings. And that falcon had a hood also. She mounted a tall black horse. She rode on a tall black horse. When her friends arrived, she set off for the palace leading them. So along with her friends of those groups, she started her journey towards the palace. A short distance from the walls of the city, Katrina told her followers to wait. So after covering a certain distance, when they were a little bit far away from the walls of the city, Katrina ordered her followers to wait there. She rode by herself into the city. Only alone she went there and went to the great hall of the palace. All the people thought she was some great warrior. She was looking like that only. Of course, no one guessed that she was a woman because she was just looking like a man. Katrina bowed to Prince Vladimir. I am the ambassador of the King of Greece, she announced. So announced means to declare something officially. She sat in the court in front of Prince Vladimir. I am the ambassador, I am the representative, an official of the highest rank, sent by the King of Greece. I have come to collect tribute from you. So what is the meaning of tribute? Tribute means some respect that I have come to collect from you. If you refuse to pay, my army of 40,000 men will attack your city. If you refuse to pay me the tribute, the token of respect, I have an army of 40,000 men and they will attack your city. Prince Vladimir started trembling with fear. So he started to shake, shiver out of fear. Let us move to the next page, page number 46. Give me time to think, ambassador, he begged. So he prayed that please give me some time to think. Time is precious, roared the ambassador. I want your answer now. Pay the tribute or we will attack. If you cannot pay, then give me your nis, Javava. So the ambassador replied in a very roaring sound that time is very precious and I don't have time to waste. You answer me now. Either you pay me the tribute, that is a payment made by one ruler to another as an expression of gratitude, or we will attack. And if you don't have the power to pay me, one thing you can do. You just give me your nis. And the name of the nis is Javava. To be my wife. So I want to get married to her. The princess niece Javava was a beautiful and clever girl. The prince loved her dearly. So the prince was very fond of her. There was nothing in the world he would not do to protect her. So he could do anything to protect his niece. At this time, Javava was sitting in the great hall watching and listening to all that was said. So that girl was sitting in the great hall and she was watching and listening to everything that was said to Prince Vladimir by Katrina, by the ambassador here. The prince asked her, beloved niece, only you can save us. What should we do? Dear uncle, replied Javava, I obey you in all matters, but I cannot marry a woman. So that was the reply of the niece. I can do anything for you, but I cannot get married to a woman. This ambassador is not a man, but a woman. So she was indeed really a clever girl. She understood that this ambassador is not a man, but a woman. See how the ambassador talks and walks. Look at the ring marks on her delicate fingers. So she said that if you follow the way she is talking, she is walking, you will understand that she is a woman. And you can even see the fine fingers of that woman, the mark of fingers, the mark of rings. You may be right, agreed the prince, but what can we do to find out if the ambassador is a man or a woman? Maybe you are right, Javava, but how I will find out that she is a woman, not a man? A little later, Prince Vladimir spoke to the ambassador. Dear ambassador, said the prince, my niece loves the people with great skills. I can only allow her to marry you if you can show us that you are skillful. Come, show us if you can play the harp. So he has been given that musical instrument, harp, and he was asked to play it. A harp was brought and Katrina began to play it and sing. The nobles were enchanted with the music, but no one could tell whether the ambassador was a man or a woman. So when a harp was brought, Katrina started to play it. And she also sang. And everybody was enchanted. That is, everyone was mesmerized by the music that was created by Katrina. But no one could finally tell that whether he is a man or she is a woman. Then the prince asked the ambassador to play a game of chess. Then the ambassador was asked to play a game of chess. The prince was the best player in the land. He believed if the ambassador was a woman, she would lose. Much to the prince's astonishment, much to his surprise, the ambassador won the game. This time also, the ambassador won. The prince turned to Jabava. This is no woman, he whispered. So he started to feel convinced, okay, that this cannot be a woman. This must be a man, because that time also he won the game. I am sure she is, replied Jawava. The prince thought for a while, then said to the ambassador, let us now try some archery. So now we will try some archery. The prince, the ambassador and the nobles all went outside into a large courtyard. So all of them reached a large courtyard. A golden ring was set up at one end and the prince placed a steel knife behind it. Now we will move to page number 47. First the prince shot 3 arrows at the target. So the target was made with a golden ring and a steel knife. And who tried first? The prince. He shot 3 arrows at the target. The arrows passed through the ring but did not hit the knife. Then the ambassador shot an arrow at the ring. The arrow hissed like a snake as it flew. What is the meaning of hissed? Making a hissing sound, a whistling sound. It passed through the ring and cut itself into 2 against the edge of the knife. The prince was now sure that the ambassador was a man, because this type of archery is not possible for a woman. But Jawava still did not agree with him. That niece, who was very clever, she didn't agree. She is still sticking to her idea that no, she is a woman. I shall not marry a woman, she cried. The ambassador may shoot arrows just like a man, but he talks, walks and sits just like a woman. The prince became angry. This time Prince Vladimir became angry. You are being silly. You are talking like a foolish girl. He said, I ordered you to marry the ambassador. Go and prepare for your wedding. So now he started to order his niece that she will have to marry that ambassador. And she should start preparing for her wedding. Jawava ran off in tears. The prince told the ambassador that his bride would soon be ready. But Katrina decided to put an end to this game because she was playing a game according to her plan. She said to the prince, before the wedding, let us fight each other. So why don't we have a fight with each other before our wedding? Let us see who is stronger. Before I get married, let us see who is the stronger one between you and me. Trembling at this suggestion, the prince said, Ambassador, there is no one here who is your match. So Prince Vladimir became a little bit scared and started trembling means he again started shivering. And he said, Ambassador, there is no one here who is your match. There is no one in our country who can be a perfect match for you. Oh dear, replied Katrina, is there no one? I was looking forward to some sport. Perhaps there is a brave warrior in your dungeons who could fight me. Perhaps you have put some warrior of your country inside the dungeon and who can give me a good fight. Yes, there is, said the prince smiling and remembering Stavr Godinovich. Suddenly he remembered, yes, I have put one of my nobles inside the dungeon. He immediately ordered his guards to bring Stavr from the dungeons. So they were ordered to bring Stavr Godinovich from the prison. Soon Stavr Godinovich arrived. He was ordered to put on a suit of armor and mount a horse because he was going to have a fight with the ambassador. When Stavr was ready, he and the ambassador galloped into a nearby field. Galloped means rushed. All the nobles went to watch the great fight. The ambassador and Stavr rode towards each other and then leaped from horse to horse. What is the meaning of leaped? Jumped. From one horse to another horse. One of them jumped. They threw their steel clubs in the air and then rode straight towards the prince. So both of them came to one horse and they threw away their clubs and then straightway they rode towards the prince. The terrible ambassador of Greece took off her helmet and threw it at the feet of the prince. Katrina's beautiful long hair fell down over her shoulders. The nobles gasped in surprise. What is the meaning of gasped? panted and barked in surprise. They were totally astonished what they are seeing. That was the feeling they were having that time. Great prince, loved Katrina, I have rescued my husband from your dungeons, from your prison. You must agree he was right to boast of my skills. Now you must agree, because you have said the same thing, that he was right to boast of my skills. Now farewell. Now goodbye. And laughing together, Katrina and Stavro Godinovich rode away. Okay, so that's all about the story. It's a beautiful one. All of you will read it thoroughly, and I'm providing you all the extra meanings separately. Okay, now we will go to page number 48. We will do the play with words and other grammatical questions in this video from this week. Okay, so let us start page number 48, play with words, question number D. Match the words with their meanings. Column A and column B are there. In column A, the words are boast. Boast means to praise or speak highly about yourself. That is number C. Number 2 is club. Club means a heavy stick with a thick end used as a weapon. That is number D. Now number 3, tribute. Tribute is a payment made by one ruler to another. So this is number A. Number 4 is lance. Lance is a long wooden weapon with a pointed steel head. That is number B. So that's all about the matching. We will move to the next page, that is page number 49. Number E. Write the antonyms of these words. First is defeat. What is the antonym? Antonym means opposite word. The antonym of defeat is victory. Number 2, far. This is very easy. All of you know this one. The antonym or opposite word of far is near. Number 3, sad. The opposite of sad is happy. Number 4, agree. And the antonym of agree is disagree. Okay. Now we will move to number F. Circle the correct spelling. Number 1. One is W-I-S-D-O-M, wisdom. One is W-I-Z-D-O-M, wisdom. So which is the correct spelling? W-I-S-D-O-M. So all of you will circle this one. Number 2 is rescue. R-E-S-K-U-E. And the other one is R-E-S-C-U-E. And the correct one is the second one. So all of you circle R-E-S-C-U-E. Let us move to number 3. Musicians and musicians. Musicians, M-U-Z-I-C-I-A-N-S. And the next one is M-U-S-I-C-I-A-N-S. And the correct is the second one. So all of you circle M-U-S-I-C-I-A-N-S. Next is ambassador. A-M-B-A-S-A-D-O-R. And the second one is A-M-B-A-S-S-A-D-O-R. And the correct is the second one. So all of you circle the second one. Now we will move to number G. Here are some sentences which have been divided into 2 parts and the parts have been mixed up. Fit the right parts together to make sensible sentences. Another matching. First one, column A, flowers. Which will be the match for this one? Last of column B, that is number E. Bloom in the garden. Number 2 of column A, a policeman. It will be a policeman. It's a printing mistake. Since A is given there, you will make it a policeman. And the match for this is number D, wears a helmet. Number 3 is hens. And the perfect match for number 3 is B, lay eggs. Number 4, an aeroplane. What will be the match for number 4? Number C of column B, flies in the air. Number 5, the moon. And which one be the perfect match for number 5? A of column B, that is shines at night. Okay, so that's all about your objective type questions. Rest of the things will be provided separately in your written part, in your assignment. Okay. So all of you prepare it properly and take care and stay well. Bye.